case, where he built out the corporate finance practice in Canada. So within the first 6 months under Chris's leadership, St. George's has become the largest independent container freight station. He's going to talk to you about what a container freight station means. For those of you that don't know, for those of you that do know, this will be very impressive. It's got the #1 position in every major port in the U.S. I'll let Chris elaborate on all of that. Without further ado.
Thank you. Thank you, Chris. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Delighted to talk to you about a very niche, specialized part of logistics and global supply chain that we operate within, which is container freight station business. We've been working hard to become the largest independent provider of CFS services in the United States. And just so you understand what the CFS means, I'm going to go through a little bit of a slide that hopefully will cast some more light on it. CFS basically is a part of the logistics that handles less than container loads on the container side. Very much alike to the truckload business and the less than truckload business. So as long as you have multiple portion of freight destined to multiple shippers, or the customers as referred in this industry, that constitutes a less than container load. And the difference between the full container and less than container load is such that the full containers follow a different logistics and customs process when entering or leaving the United States. It's the big containers, the full containers, it's very simple. Shippers and freight forwarders and NVOCCs can clear full containers while they're still on the ocean, and they literally fly, and I do appreciate that's a masterpiece of an overstatement given the congestion at ports, but it's a very simple logistics exercise to clear a full container and get it to the final destination point. When you start touching less than container loads, it becomes a very complex, very specialized and a difficult process from a logistics undertaking, because those things have to be offloaded from the ships, they have to be drayed into bonded customs warehouses, they have to be devanned, they have to be deconsolidated for visual inspections by the customs, they have to be transloaded and either prepared and delivered locally to the final mile or shipped somewhere point intermodal. And that complexity creates a huge pain point for the large freight forwarders and NVOCCs. And just to make sure that we understand a freight forwarder and non-vessel operating common carriers, these are the travel agent for freight. So if you're a manufacturing plant in China and you want to ship an industrial part from Shanghai to Amsterdam or to New York or to LA, and it's likely go to LA because that travels it arrives in the western part of the United States, you need to call a freight forwarder or an NVOCC to help you do that. And it's the best analogy is using them as travel agent for freight. Once this complexity of LCL is handled by businesses referred to as container freight station. This is what we do. It accounts for roughly about 10% of all global freight, whether it moves either through ocean or air. It's about 10% of overall volume. So we handle literally 10% of everything that goes or leaves the United States. This is how you should be thinking about us today. We started a little bit more modestly, but we've grown quite considerably over the first seven months since we've invested in with the backing of Windpoint Partners in this platform acquisition.